Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Cristabel Huerta, brightness consultant at HATO. Thank you for being here. I will just give 2 minutes in the time I'm giving the introduction, so people keep joining us. We have seen a very good audience. I hope everyone could make it for this session. It's a bit different from a previous one. This is for general applications in the livestock farms. So would be for focus on AC lighting. As the title says, is when is AC the right choice for your farm? That would depend on many factors, but we will try to have a breakdown here, disclose the benefits, the advantages of AC alternate current lighting against other traditional AC lights, and as well direct current lights and other options that we see in the market. So as you know, HATO Agricultural Lighting is a company that has been in the livestock lighting business for more than 50 years. So everything that we bring here is well based on experience, studies, research, own innovation, really looking into furthermore what technology can help the farmers and animals to improve well-being and of course performances, and to try to get best farm results, that with cost-efficient solutions. And of course AC, what most of you should think is that are more affordable solutions. So we will have here a close look on what is our experience, the experience of the farmers, the markets, and the technology nowadays that can do more for you. All right, so let's start with a poll here for those that are already connected. So the first one is, why do you install AC lighting in your farm? There you have 4 options. It's multiple choice, so you can choose all if all of them fit for you. So A, the standard power supply from the grid. Is it B, easy installation? Is it C, accessible spare parts? Or D, it is cheaper? So the poll will be now launched in your device, and then you are able to choose any option of those. For me, it's useful that I get some feedback from you, because then I can also have your insights. What is your perspective? What is what you are doing now? And then point out useful things for you as well along the presentation. Okay, I see majority has answered, and mostly it is option B, easy installation. Others have chosen other options like the standard power supply from the grid, which is also the most common use, and accessible spare parts. I would also understand that, because due to the easy installation, and then you get the bulbs or lamps, perhaps something like, you know, the eFit 27. Other regions have other name, but this fits that you can screw easily in the line electrical installation. All right, and perhaps that is cheaper, but that is really something that we have to check out on many other factors and aspects of lighting, what really cheap means for you. Because you have to think about the lifespan. Maybe it is easy to get a spare parts, but how often do you need to replace those lights? Are those waterproof? Is enough a safety and also via security, and to get really sustainable solutions? Is that really a good fit for your farm? All those things we need to check on the presentation, and really analyze where and when AC lighting shines and all the practical installations and other cost tips that we will break down here. So first we will go with a bit of the basics on currents, on the energy of electricity terms. So we'll go here on discovering the power of current choices. Today we are talking about alternating currents, which is commonly known as AC, which is the standard power supply from the grid. AC will flow from positive to negative. So as you see in the graphic besides, you get that oscillation that goes from plus to minus, and that AC operates on high voltages. And if you compare the AC with DC, which is direct current, you see that a current choice is a more stable single direction current. So DC flows on a straight line. As you see, there is no oscillation on that. And that will have certain advantages and other benefits if you compare that with AC. But that we will check it on the next session webinar that will be in a couple of weeks. Now, AC, as we see in the graph, is alternating current that changes polarity periodically. So this oscillation occurs several times per second over time. That repeats over time. And that you can measure in hertz, and that is what states the frequency. So for instance, this oscillation in Europe happens 50 times in 1 second. I will see that this frequency is not always the same everywhere, neither the voltage. I will show you here a map of the use of voltages in alternate currents over the world. Maybe it's a little bit smaller, the numbers in there, but you see different colors in here. And as you see from the eastern side of the world, then is more in blue, which is between the 220 to 240 volts, and it is between mostly 50 hertz. And in the west side of the world is the northern part, more on the 100 to 130 volts, which is commonly used, and mainly 60 hertz. In South America, you see a variable voltage and also hertz, but it's basically 50, 60 hertz, and it can vary from 120 to 240 volts, which is a high voltage. That we always have to think that is currents that we need to follow certain safety protocol that has to be the installation made for electrician, technicians certified, and so on for when you are checking on your lighting installation and choosing for the right fit for your farm to make it safe. Further on, we will check on other terms that we will mention along the presentation, basically to understand a bit more on the technical part of the lighting and installation. For sure, your electrician, technician, installer will be more familiar with it than us. I know a little bit of this, but as you know, I'm the voice of HATO, and here at HATO, we all have a specific specialty, and this all is what our technicians here, electrician, engineers always take into account to bring the best solution for livestock farms. So besides the know-how that I mostly share in our webinar series about what is light and the features of light, so the properties and key aspects of lighting that influences animal behavior, we also need to combine and have a full and applicable good solution for farming, taking into account as well technology and innovation that will bring you a better solution and more efficiency in your farm. So maybe you have seen already here a bit of the terms. We have voltage. So as definition is the force that pushes the current through the cable. That is measured in volts. We were talking about 100 to 240 volts, more or less, that is used all around the globe. The symbol will be U. And if we use an analogy of what electricity is, would be like a water hose. And you see there some drawings. So the voltage is that water pressure, so that pressure that goes through the cable. Then you have the current. We are talking now about alternate current. That is the energy that will be transported, okay? And that is measured in ampere with ampere meter. And the symbol, it would be I. So that, in the analogy, would be the amount of water. And you see there the size of the hose, in case of current of the cable. And there would be the quantity of current that goes through it. Then you have resistance, which is the obstruction in the circuit. And then is measured in ohm with an ohm meter. And the symbol is R. And that would be the obstruction in a water pipe, like here in the drawing, the sound. Then at the end, you will get freeing energy through that, and that would be the power. So the total energy that will be consumed in time, and that is measured in watts. That is the most common measurement that you know about a bulb. When you got a lamp, you immediately look into how many watts, so what is the power of that lamp, that it is important for you to know what is the power consumption and what will be the total energy cost of that besides the investments of how much it costs the lamp, your electricity consumption. Then is the symbol P, and that power you will get by multiplying the quantity of the lamps by the watts of that lamp, and then you get the power consumption. All right, so I hope this has been a bit clear. It's very basic. We will not deep into it. And now I have another poll for you, which is when AC lighting can be safer. So I have here 4 options, and you tell me, when do you think AC lighting can be safer? If I was telling you that it is a very important factor that you have to consider in your barn, so you are not having there a TNT stuff that will put in danger your installation and your animals, of course. So A, installation and replacements are done by the electrician. B, lamps are waterproof. C, voltage is lower than 100 volts. D, use of surge or peak protector. There's also a multiple choice question. Let's see what majority answers. Okay. So majority has answered installation and replacements are done by the electrician as being the safer way when AC lighting could be. Do we have another, Brigitte? Okay, let's see. Voltage is lower than 100 volts. Okay, so this are quite, you would say, quite easy of all of them, but it's quite tricky because, yes, indeed, an AC lighting installation, we always have to consider that electrician has to install it, and also when changing a bulb, that electrician does that because they know about the safety protocol to follow. They have more knowledge about the topic or how to handle with electricity. So, okay, the electrician, but anyway, don't think, oh, I will just change it, that's fine. So you always have to make sure that the power is off just to avoid any damage. Secondly, Lamps are waterproof, yes, that could be, but you also have to take into account in the case that you have a bulb like this with a E27 fit and you screw it in a connector. If the connector is not waterproof, then it's no matter that the bulb is waterproof. So there still can be water coming in, or it's not completely hermetic, and that can also put in danger your installation. Voltage is lower than 100 volts. Yes, but it is safer when you go to below 50 volts when we are talking about alternate currents. And the use of surge protector will protect your circuits, not really the lamps. But we will disclose here more information about it. Okay, so always look for a good lighting that fits your farm, but also on taking into account the safety protocol. So we have here safety first. Indeed, a DC current lighting system will be always safer than AC system, but still we can look into our standard alternate current lighting if we can make it safer, or how to handle to make it safer and still be a good fit for your farm. We know the C lights, it's a higher investment in the first shot if you compare with AC lighting, but DC lighting can bring you also other advantages that we will learn in our next series. I also have here some other facts, like currents of 0.02 A can be felt. So it's very low, but it's still, you feel it. Currents of 0.030 to 0.05 amperes is unbearable pain, have cardiac fibrillation and unconsciousness. And all currents above the 0.050 amperes can lead to that. So therefore, it's very important how you will handle your installation, make it done by an electrician, a professional, and also when you are changing your lights. Safe voltage, as said, 48 volts alternate current are safer, and 60 volts direct current. So as such, the systems here in HATO that we have in direct currents, low voltage is mostly around 48 volts, so they are safe. Make sure that the light systems is powered off, of course, as I was saying. Okay, so it is very important to take into account about how to get a higher security. Here I have another important fact. Also, when looking for alternate current, don't go only with traditional lights. I mean, with traditional lights that you get from the store out of the corner, and you can also use at home, because those kind of lamps were not made to be used in harsh environments like in livestock farms. So really look for solutions that have high quality materials that can be waterproof, hermetic, to protect better your installation, your lights, the circuits, and so on. When it's waterproof, at least you have an IP67 rate. That means that can handle cleaning on water pressure, so that also help you to have a better cleaning or easy cleaning, and also that are really hermetic. The other side is to have also lights or a system that gives you maximum fire protection. Some of these systems have a specific driver that makes it safer, and also having an easy installation. Nowadays there are also several kind of lights, tubular LEDs that have this kind of plug and play wiring connector, and makes it also more easy to install. The other side is to have energy efficient light. I will explain further. That is giving you more lumen per watt, because we are using here a high voltage, so what more power, more light output comes out of the lamps, and that consumes, of course, more electricity. and we have to look into the efficiency of the lights you are buying. By the way, I'm here focusing on mostly actually on LED lighting, which is nowadays a technology to use in livestock farms. And other light source may also be connected with alternate current. I will make a couple of comparisons with fluorescent lights, for instance, but it's basically about LED lighting. And then we have as well, when you get lights that are more resistant and that are waterproof and that are easily broken and so on, of course, you get a longer lifespan and that you don't need to replace lights every time, and a problem-free solution. Then the fewer lamps need to be replaced and less downtime, less risk, less manpower, hours use, and so on. So you see, you can reduce costs in multiple ways. Now, we go to the energy efficacy. The meaning is to produce the desired amount of light, so lumen, with less energy use. That is watts, the power. So you see there, you might have a traditional bulb similar to this. This is the one that HATO has designed to replace those traditional lights. It has the know-how and technology of applying a good lighting in livestock farms. You may use it at home as well, but this will have a better application in farms. And then I will show you how we can protect this, which is a standard IP20, and make it as well waterproof. This we have, or we look for LEDs that are with high energy efficacy, so that you can get more light output out of this lamp using less energy. And that would be reflected in your energy consumption and the electricity bill. So that is what you can compare more or less with incandescent lamps. Before was the lifetime 1,000 to 200 hours. With fluorescent, about 4,800 hours. And the LEDs outperform those technologies by 3 or 25 times on their estimated lifetime. So at the end, LEDs gives you more advantages. And if you look to a specialized LED and high energy efficacy, you get, again, more benefits and reduced costs in other way. So we compare that energy efficacy of the LED against a fluorescent light. This is a solution from HATO, which was that uses 8.7 watts. That is the power consumption, compared with another previous solution that is out of the market from HATO, which was a fluorescent light, 36 watts. The design was also completely different, so the light output was also different. But what matters is to check on the efficacy, the lumen per watt. So you see even that the lamp of 8.7 watts looks like it's less power than the other. At the end, it gives you more lumen per watt, so 121 compared with 83 of the fluorescent light. And there you get 46% higher efficacy. And that is what you will be saving on your calculations on the power consumption. So you have, to calculate the power out of a lamp. For instance, you have a lamp that works on 230 volts, and a bulb like this uses 6.3 watts. Then the lamp is on for 24 hours. Then you will calculate those 24 hours by the power, 6.3 watts. You get 151 watts per hour, and that you multiply by the cost, local energy cost. In this case, in the Netherlands, we went to the maximum that we have got here. Nowadays is lower. It was 0.59 euro cents. And then by the consumption, the watts per hour, then you will get the cost per day. So we have here a breakdown to make it a little bit easier for you. So with that comparison of the LED of 8.7 watts against the fluorescent of 36 watts, when we saw the lumen per watt already giving you more benefits with reducing, giving you, 46% more energy efficacy. We see now how you reduce the costs. So the energy cost per year will be multiplying the power of your light in watts by the number of lamps that you have. In this case, it was an exercise of a broiler house, very standard, having 100 lamps of one and the other type, by the number of hours that the light is on, by the number of days that you have those lights on in a whole year, divide by 1,000, and you get the kilowatts per hour and then per year. Okay, so you see that you are reducing the 50% in costs per year when you get a more energy efficacy solution. So it is not how big it looks that it will be very brilliant. It's also where are you getting your lighting density in there, and also check on which AC is giving you the best energy efficacy. Now, we have here a naming some benefits of the AC lighting in livestock farming. So we have here a greater coverage and consistency. That is one of the benefits. What does that mean? Is that the AC system can power longer cable runs with less drop voltage. That is something that is preferable with AC because it's easy installation. You just connect directly to the electricity from the grid, and you have less drop voltage. And that is very useful when you have large barns. Depending on the region, also on local regulations, what are the limitations, and also just to get consistent lighting levels, which can be critical on the production phase. So, but it is very important that you ensure uniformity in light distribution. So AC lighting can give you that, but you have to make sure to install the lights correctly so that you get the right lighting density at the right place, depending on the type of housing, on the characteristics of the barn inside, that nothing is having an obstruction of the light, and that it really comes into the eye level of your animals. So where you will be measuring that lighting density to ensure that uniformity. Then the other benefit will be compatibility and availability. So as other already mentioned, with easy installation and accessible spare parts, while AC power is the standard electrical supply in most rural areas where the farms are located far away in the lands. So that is compatible with a wide range of lighting fixtures as well, and it's easier to scale and maintain. But again, look for safety solutions and that are as well suitable for livestock farms and more resistant to harsh environments. Okay, also again on the limitations. The other side of that, it is preferable AC than DC, is about the fewer components that prone to failure, because you only have your lights and something fails, well, you will replace only that lamp and perhaps the dimmer. With the DC systems that we will learn in our next session, you have more parts that conform the system. It's not only the lights and the dimmer, in case that your lights are dimmable for AC lighting, for instance, but there are more other components. But on the be scared, DC has furthermore advantages as well. So at the end, yeah, potentially could be lower maintenance needs with AC, but it's always good to look what would be the best solution according to your farm and own needs. Okay, so always what is the budget as well on the farm construction, the operations, and so on. Now, I have here very bold bullet points on when to choose AC over DC. Anyway, I will put always a but on every bullet point, but just to put it simple for you, would be if your barn is larger than 20 meters in length and to have really longer lines of lights, AC could be a good solution. This, I would say, mostly for pig farms, cattle farms, which are bigger, larger, and they have also multiple zones when they need a certain area, specific lighting density or light aspects to improve animal performance. But in other ways, in other zones, you need only that it is well lit and that is also a place where animals go through, and you need some sportive light in there. You can also have this kind of AC lighting. So it's about analyzing what is your situation. But yeah, indeed, for pigs, cattle, horses, other big farms, AC lighting solution is a very good one. For poultry, because as we have learned, and some of you already know, perhaps poultry is more sensitive to light. That is why there are more solutions advanced in technology that needs to adapt to animal vision and how to improve on the desired behavior. And it is also a tool on how to manage your flock in the house. So lighting can help you in several ways. And that's why there are more specific or more precision lighting that will help to improve farm results. In poultry, there's more advanced solutions in lighting. Then we have as well, if you have access to grid electricity, of course, AC is the solution. When maintenance access is limited to, that you need fewer parts to supply as well. But that wouldn't be, for instance, an obstruction of having DC lighting systems, because those are less possible to be broken. So they have a longer lifetime, like AC systems, for instance. Now, when you are retrofitting an existing infrastructure, I will also go for AC lighting, especially on old barns where you only want to replace your lights and then don't have a huge investment in installation, a complete change on installation. I would go for AC lighting. But even on those new buildings, again, depending on the size of your farm and the budget of the project, you can also go on AC lighting. It's specialized for livestock use. Now, the other very important factor is to build your optimal light climate. So, okay, you will choose for AC lighting, just coming from all these practicalities and facts, but then build the light climate that adapts to the needs of your animal and your farm. AC lighting can help you to do that, but you need to understand that what you need is to simulate daylight, and that is just to improve sight. That will feel animals more at ease, that would reduce stress, and that will improve their well-being. So happy animals will perform better. They will feel good, feel okay, no obstructions, no shadows. They could see better their surroundings. They can find water and feeders easily. That stimulates feed intake. And then you will see a change in behavior and as well in performance. And if you have a good operational efficacy in the farm, then you will see better farm results as well. So that is basically how you will look for the optimal light climate. And then we will break down a bit on what is very important that you look into your AC lighting. What is your situation right now? If you can measure that and be aware on that and consider if you are having the right setup. So in the first instance, as said, you need to adapt that light climate into the needs of the animals. And every animal perceives light in different way. We know poultry is more sensitive to it, so that is more importance to check on all the key aspects of lighting that influences in their behavior to have the right fit. You see there the human perception of the light spectrum and differs from the perception of other species because that depends on the biological process, the photobiology of the eye of each animal. And we see that with poultry is wider the way that they perceive the spectrum that with pigs of cattle. So, for instance, with poultry, are more sensitive to more colors. They can see more color combination and see better their surroundings, perceive flicker, something that pig and cattle doesn't. So it is why we can adapt different solutions according to the type of application of your farm. Now, I have here another poll to continue with the aspects of lighting. Considering that you are having AC lighting in your farm, is that dimmable and flicker free? I have 3 options. Yes, both. So you have dimmable and flicker free. B, none of those. So it's just on and off solution. Or C, they are dimmable, but you are not sure about flicker, if they are being flicker free. In this case, it's a single option. No, majority has answered. Okay, B, known. Okay, interesting. So you are having AC lighting, but just on and off solutions. And set with an cattle and pigs perhaps is less sensitive, but anyway, every living being, we are used to get the sunrise and sunset. So we do not get the lights on, and even when we are sleeping and someone just put the light on suddenly at 100% is quite annoying when, and then wake up on that way. So we need to adapt into the lighting environments when you are coming for complete darkness into a full room with light. So for animals is the same. It's just a sudden stress that happens. I will go to the next slide already, which is about dimmability. So having dimmable lights with AC current will be very helpful also to decrease stress, so to improve the well-being of animals, to have them a bit calmer. That also helps to stimulate natural behavior, to get more into their day-night cycle, which is very important, that will be reflected afterwards in their behavior and the performances of the animals, and at the end on a good productivity. So here, in this case, a smooth flicker-free dimming is also very important. So not only when you have the lights at 100% on, that it is flicker-free, but also when dimming the lights. Here, the majority answered they were not with dimming lights, and that is only from your lights adding a dimmer that gives you that option, and to prevent that stress, prevents increased heart rates, certainly in the poultry farms, which are more sensitive, nervous, and that you could manage a better behavior in the farm by reducing light intensity, managing a better photo period of the lights, even if those are supplementary lights that can give you better results, like stimulate feed intake, improve FCR, reduce situations like pecking, cannibalism, or agitation, nervousness with other animals, and so on. So it is good. So to understand a bit more about light flicker, so we see again this graph of how the alternate current oscillates from plus to minus, and that goes periodically. And as I was saying, how many times occurs this fluctuation per second is what we measured in frequency. And many times how faster it goes, it is how less visible is for human eye to identify that flicker. Many times when lights are on and they have flicker, we even don't perceive it, don't see it. We might perceive it. If it is very bad, we can get some headaches or it's annoying to our eyes. Our behavior changes as well. We feel a bit more tired and so on. Well, the same happens to animals. With poultry, it's even worse because they can see that flicker and then besides perceive it. With cattle or pigs or horses is less, but still it can be annoying. So you will see that on the behavior. When you would compare lights where you have with a high flicker and then change it another zone without flicker, you might see that change in behavior. And that you can measure. I will show you further other graphs to see what means that flicker percentage, frequency, and the index flicker. First, I would like to tell you how to control lighting and effect on flickering. So if you are choosing for AC lights, which is dimmable, so that is light that you can power directly in AC, and then you see describe this flow of charge that changes direction periodically from the left side of the graph, the AC input. And well, as a result, the voltage level also reverses along with the current. Now in AC, as we were looking into the world map in houses, has a frequency of 50-60 hertz. What happens per second. And if you connect a light source directly to the AC frequency of the light, it's usually 100 to 120 hertz. In other zones or regions where 230 to 120. And then you can get a rectified output as well. And then you see this oscillation going on from the upper side, and that could go very fast, and then you in frequency, and you won't see that flicker. Now, when you go to dimming the lights, here we have 3 graphs. The first one, which is PWM dimming, just to make the difference, that is made on DC systems with direct current. That is not applicable for alternate current, but just to make the differentiation in case that you have heard about the PWM dimming. It's not something that HATO does. We manage a different technology, which is besides dimming with voltage is commonly said, but actually the right term is phase cut dimming. The reverse phase control dimmer, as it said, is how we dim the lights on alternate currents. Okay, so in that case, with PWM dimming, it is like a constant on and off of the lamp. That's how you see that when they are 100%, there is no change. And then if you put it at 75% on light intensity, well, 25% of the time will be off, and then the 75% will be on. And with dimming with voltage, what we try to do is to keep the light intensity on. So there is a cut off on this phase that will reduce light intensity, but the lights will keep on. Then it would depend on the technology of the system, of the driver inside the lamp, let's say, how this dimmable curve will be deep and steady, and that will be the same from the first lamp to the end, right? Because you don't want to get any drop voltage and any drop of light intensity either, and that all go the same way on every lamp and all lines. So that is depending on the technology of the light supplier. But it's a little bit on very high level explain what dimming can be in alternate current lights. Now, to measure flicker, we have as well the HATO one, our unique light meter that can measure all aspects of light that we have been mentioned in previous webinar series, or if you have seen our website, we have there a lot of knowledge articles that talk about all these key aspects of lighting that help you to improve animal well-being, behavior, and then performances. So here, by measuring it, then you would know if your lights are flickering. Even if they are not dimmable, just check if it is not any flicker in there. And you need to check into the frequency, percentage flicker, and flicker index. So there are 3 factors that will give you the right measurement of flicker. If it's quite difficult to do, ask your light specialist or someone has a good light meter, accurate sensor that will give you a right measurements and check what is your situation. In the first example, we see that we have a high percentage, so 97%, and 0.51 in flicker index. That is very high, and you see even in the pattern that oscillation is quite easy to see that you have a high flicker with those lights, even if it's hundreds, that someday will say, oh, if the flicker fusion is when the animal don't see anymore that fluctuation, that would be for chicken, which are more sensitive to it. If it's above 100, 120, they don't see it. So here's 100 hertz. Might not see it, but it is so high with the other aspects that they are perceiving that flicker. In the other example, we see it is 100 hertz, but a low, very low percentage, 1.40, and the index is 0.0. So no flicker, no issue, or any influence on animal behavior. Now we have the good lighting that stimulates animal performance on having good light distribution. As I was saying, it's about having the right amount of light intensity in the right area of the house. There you would see to improve their vision, to stimulate the feed intake because they can see their surroundings better, they can find feeders, drinkers, the feed area. They are not afraid of those dark spots or brilliant spots. Then you improve their well-being. They feel more at ease. That will stimulate a more natural behavior, as well production, with applying the right light intensity and getting that uniformity in the areas that you need. Right? So to get that, then is to analyze where you will install your lights. Okay, so we go to the high impact use cases when you will install AC lighting, which is preferable than DC. We mentioned with the bold bullet points in poultry houses with large footprints or for retrofits. Then we would recommend to use AC lighting. Dairy barns with long rows and multiple zones, of course. I also explained that a bit. Swine facilities requiring uniform brightness across pens, and multi-purpose sheds where general lighting is needed for swine operations, and also with other kind of livestock barns like with horses. These solutions are very good. But as said, important to check on the light spread, depending on the design of the lamp, where you will install those lights, not too high, that really gets a light intensity that they need to avoid shadows, etc. As we are seeing some examples in here, that depending on the design of the lamp, you will get specific beam angle that will give you the light spread on the ground and see to get, that is in order to get more uniformity, and depends on that you will know how many lights you need on the line, how far from the ceiling you need to, from the floor you need to install those lights, and so on. Then we have here another example where we have installed AC lighting, or in barns, even new barns for poultry broiler farms with climate control, where lighting is essential because everything is closed. You will manage lighting from your controller. Those are also dimmable lights, but then you can make those waterproof and be have a higher safety. Then you have also the open housing, that you have supplementary light in this case, because that you depend more on the sunlight, but you also, again, to get more uniformity, that it is quite bright to the sides of the barn, and in the middle is less brightness. So there you need some support, or just to get to make the photo period longer, that you will add lighting in there. You also have sometimes supplementary lighting in big housing, but again, check the light distribution. We see in the photo at the top, it's quite dark in certain areas because they were depending only on the sunlight, but how the light comes through that window. And they saw that performances were not uniform. The behavior of those saws were completely different, and having some issues also in performances and productivity. So they decided to put some additional lighting in between those windows to get a more uniform light distribution. Then you see other kind of farm where you have the operational lights located at the ceiling, and then it's just to have the operational control of the saws. But then if you want to influence in the productivity and the uniform sexual maturation, and also to stimulate saws to warm up, then you need more light intensity, and the light intensity it gets on the above their heads. So that is also very important. So there is a lot of lights in here. So AC lighting would be the solution to have in here, because it's also easy installation, and you got longer lines and more power out of it. So that will save you to have other parts in the system, like the power supplies that convert the alternate current to direct currents, for instance. Well, in that case, a solution like this, just a long tubular LEDs, easy to connect from one to the other lamp, it would be the solution. Now, we have here as well a light plan, which is necessary to always request to the light supplier to assure a good light uniformity, because that will tell you exactly where you will need to install your lights, the distance from a ceiling to a floor, and then as well in poultry farms, for instance, from the side walls to the center, the distance between the lines, the distance between the lamps, etc., just to achieve a good light uniformity where you need it, and as well the light intensity. So you are not losing any luminosity where it is not needed, or having extra lamps where it is not needed, and that you will have more efficiency and reduce power consumption. So that would depend on the characteristics of the barn. Here we have a cattle lighting example of a barn where the lights were installed against the ceiling. And here you see the lights are installed a bit lower to achieve the right light intensity, because we need high luminosity to the floor, to the eyes of the cows, to stimulate their behavior and consumption, and then that would be reflective into productivity. So it is just for yourself to know what are your objectives, what is that you are looking for, what are the market needs, what is my budget, what I can invest by now, check on the lifetime, on the quality, that are resistant and secure to have in your barn. Here we can present some of the HATO AC lighting solutions that you have seen in the photos, in the application, like the ARA, which is something similar to the E27 feet that could be comparable with a traditional light, but ours is very different from traditional, since these are also dimmable. All of these lights AC are dimmable. The Pika is already waterproof, same as the Rudax for dairy cattle, and Fortis, that is all-rounder, because you can use it in different barns and also areas in a barn or operation. We have here accessories, which is important to consider when you have dimmable lights, like the dimmer of the overvoltage protection unit, if you want to add it for those regions that you have high peaks or different peaks of voltage to avoid damage of your lights. And others accessories like specifically for the Rudax, which is AC current lighting, but that has completely different technology, because something that is very important to mention is that AC lighting, you cannot mix colors. Like you have seen perhaps in poultry that they are mixing whites with reds, or the warm white with cool white, just to improve performances in the barn, get better production results. Well, in case of AC, that is not possible. So in case that you have warm white bulb in a broiler house, you want to use blue lights for catching, well, you need to add an extra line of lights that will be only blue, and then you have your warm lights. With the Rudax is something different that we have explained in our previous webinar. If someone else would like to know more about it, we are here to answer your questions, or contact us afterwards, because it has a specific light controller and dual DALI converter to activate the Lactivus technology, which has proven to improve milk production up to 14%. That is a very innovative technology that can help with alternate current solution. And of course, that all technology is a bit more expensive than a bit more traditional or a standard solutions on AC. Okay, here I have other examples of installations. What I was saying, you could see from our LED SUV that we have here with the plug and play connector. This wiring as well is waterproof, and then it's hermetic if you do the right installation, and allows you to have longer lines. Of course, you always need to check on the manual instruction, on the limitations, in the case of the Rudax or any other solution, the circuit breaker, and so on, but that the electrician or the installer would know. Then it's very simple to connect. It's just take the electricity from the grid, and then if you have dimmable lights, then the dimmer, and then the line of lights, and depending how many you can have per line, not to lose voltage and light intensity, and then to find the connection diagram for your layout of the farm. All right, so when is AC the right choice? Well, as said, for larger barns, for retrofits, when you need a lot of power consumption because you need a high light intensity, and to avoid so many parts that compose a system, for easy installation, accessible for spare parts, but not forgetting what you need to build an optimal light climate. That you look for AC lighting that is dedicated for livestock farms, that will also make the difference. Then perhaps do not have them all, but try to do as much as possible. If they are not dimmable, well, that has the right color at the farm, that maybe is not flickering, that you have a correct installation that is safe, and so on. So at the end, improving animal side will improve well-being, will improve performances, will have more happy animals with more durable and high-quality lighting and energy-saving lighting, easy installation that will reduce workload, downtime, and multiple costs in several ways that we have seen. And that is just having affordable solutions with a more responsible farming. So thank you for being here. If you have any question, please set it in the chat or contact me afterwards. We will send a follow-up email with a small survey so that you can give me your feedback, what you thought about this webinar, if you were missing something or any other topic of your interest that we can take into account for the next time. Or if you would like to get in contact with us, don't hesitate to send me an email or check our website. There is also the QR code to register for the following webinars, and or request a light plan as well, which is for free. So let us know. You will also get in the follow-up email more resources about it, so videos, article knowledge, and other the breakdown of the cost as well. So don't hesitate to have a look on that. Send your request to us.